Good morning, and good morning from a fantastic, beautiful, beautiful day here in Worcestershire. It's pure blue sky. Pete and I have been out for a little walk down the lane, listening to all the chiff-chaffs and all the other little birdies. Everybody's getting very busy. So there's lots happening in the hedgerows around us. It's absolutely gorgeous out there. So I hope wherever you are that you're having a beautiful day. Anyway, welcome to Pinhole Quilting. Pete's behind the camera. I'm here in front of the camera. I'm Liz, and we are Pinhole Quilting, along with our teachers, educators, and lovely Pauline, who does the mail order, and Mark, who does our operations. And our engineers, very, very important around the country. And they're the kind of people that we rely on when we're looking for installations and for servicing. So thank you to everybody else. Thank you to everybody who's looking at this today. Welcome to Pinhole Quilting. Now, what are we going to do today? There's a few things that Pete and I have got lined up for you, literally lining up. That is a little clue as to what we might be doing. I'm looking over here on the Moxie. And in case you notice on this take-up rail, there's a little bit of fluffy stuff. I don't know if you can see that, Pete, but nobody need be worried about this. This isn't what your underneath stitches normally look like. This is what we did during the last foundation workshop. And this was the underside. We let people go pretty crazy on their thread tension, and then they rectify it. So if that happens to you at home, that's one of the reasons why coming on the foundation workshop is a really good idea. There's nothing worse than finding that it looks like this on the back, and it can create a few little issues for you as well. But how do you sort it out? And that's the aim of the foundation workshop, that it gives you that fantastic foundation so that once you have got that knowledge, you know, you're fully informed as to what to do next. I mean, from time to time, you might have issues. In fact, there was something that we could mention about the glide thread that we were talking about yesterday, Pete. Anyway, one of the things that we've got coming up this week at the Pinhole Quilting Showroom is 2 days of foundation workshops. So safe travels to everybody who's coming to join us either on Wednesday or Thursday. We look forward to seeing you then. We've got a day off on Friday. I say a day off, it's not really a day off. It's when we reload these frames. So everything is now ready for our foundation workshops, but then changeover, and Lynda Jackson's coming down from Sheffield on Friday. And we look forward to welcoming Lynda, our handy quilter ambassador and educator, to our showroom. She'll be teaching 2 days of feathers. So feathers from fancy to formal to fancy, and then on the Sunday, it's fitting those feathers into blocks and borders. A good foundation for you if you're interested in feathers. It's one of my favorite things to do. I was always interested in doing feathers and never thought I could achieve it. But having done some really good workshops, I think it gives you that real idea of how to form the feathers. And here at the showroom, that's the kind of hands-on training that we can provide, one machine per person. So there we go.
So yes, 4 days of training this week, but those are all booked.
Yep, it's all closed off.
But there will, of course, be more later in the year.
Yeah,
We're talking about that in a moment.
We have to close them off. We've got lots of things to do admin-wise. It's bank holiday on Monday, so everything is ready for Wednesday morning. And we've got all your threads. They're all in little boxes, ready to load into our little baskets for each customer. So we shall see you Wednesday morning. And the other thing is, I know some people are coming for multiple days. So Judy, yes, 3 days. That'll be fun. We look forward to seeing you during the week and weekend, and everybody else as well. Now, one of the things that we're going to talk about today is also the fact that we're launching the workshops from the 5th to 7th of July. 2 o'clock today, we'll be releasing that, putting that up so that you can add to basket. And if you were interested, you'll hopefully have put in your email address, and then you'll be notified when it's available online. So 2 o'clock is the aim. Of course, it takes a little while to upload and stuff, so it's around 2 o'clock. I can't make it absolutely precise. I'm sorry about that. It's not like Eventbrite on our website. So if you're interested in coming to that, that will be a fantastic opportunity to learn from Lynda Jackson. We're going to be doing all of the stitch, basically draw, design, stitch. And the whole point of that is to get you understanding how to do whole cloth quilts. It's a great training whether you decide to do whole cloth in the future or just for your regular quilts as well, because it's about fitting into spaces too, and about the design process, transferring design using light boxes, using different templates and rulers. It's a really extensive amount of information that you'll learn. And what we've really noticed, and in fact there was one of our customers who'd been on the last year's course, posted, it was Sue, wasn't it, Pete? And she posted recently, and it just shows the step change that we see in those customers who've attended those workshops. Without a doubt, that's the kind of change that we see. So it's fantastic to see that improvement and confidence really in what people are able to do.
So that's another of Lynda's ambassador events, similar to the one that we ran in October last year, which was so popular we had to run it again.
Yes, we opened up one week and then it was totally booked. So yeah, we're hopeful that we fill this one too. Now, the other thing is that if you're interested in long arms, but you don't have one yet, we've got a special day for you. That's the 11th of July. It's a Monday. And we've got Stuart Hillard coming down for 2 sessions, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. We'll be releasing details about this shortly, but wanted to give you the heads up if you're watching this video. So that will be for potential new long arm customers, bit of inspiration, bit of a trunk show, and come along, test drive the machines. It'll be a talk for about 45 minutes with Q&A at the end of it as well. Stuart will be bringing down some of his quilts and doing a slideshow too. So it'll be here at Pinhole Quilting Showroom, where we've got all the machines set up, and you can have a go on different machines. There's no pressure. It's not like one-on-one where the only person in the showroom. This is very much a relaxed session that should enable you to get an idea of whether it's the kind of thing you'd like to do, or if you're interested in the future and it's just that initial stage. Would I be able to do it? This is a great opportunity, and it's lovely to have Stuart, who's a Handy Quilter ambassador, coming along for those 2 sessions. So the idea will be that we start at 9:30 for the first morning session. Stuart will be talking from about 10 till 11, and then that session will finish by about 1 o'clock, and then the new customers will be coming in at 1:30. So that's how it works, and the same thing repeats in the afternoon. We hope you can join us for that. As I say, sign up for our email newsletter if you're not on it already, and you'll hear details about that in due course. Okay, moving on. Any questions, Pete? Any comments?
Well, comment from Annette Holden, who came on Lynda's ambassador event last October.
Oh yes,
saying
Annette.
What fun it was.
Oh my goodness,
We did
Annette.
have some fun, didn't we?
Oh, I will never forget us shimmying through the doorway at the Bell House. It was one of those moments, Annette, and it just makes me smile. I hope everything's well with you and your family up Brown Cow Road in Selby. Right, so that.
So, yeah, also just to mention, we've also got Lindsay from Switzerland who's online as usual this morning. Hi, Lindsay.
Hi, Lindsay.
Thank you for your order online this week, Lindsay.
Yeah, so this is a new thing. And but do you want to talk about that, Pete?
Yeah, I think we are testing the waters again with shipping to Europe. As you know, it's been quite a challenge for the last couple of years. So we have opened up 3 European countries at the moment, hoping to add more. And you can now order directly from us for shipment to Spain and Switzerland and the Netherlands currently. Those are the 3 countries.
Brilliant.
We'd love to open it up for Ireland, but we have yet to successfully get any parcels into Ireland that haven't been returned to us. So until that situation improves, that's a little bit of a waste of time.
This is a boomerang postage system.
So policies are online. There is a minimum order for shipments to Europe, but we're delighted to be starting the process of opening that up again.
Yes, it's been an interesting experience. The right. Anything else? An announcements? Festival of Quilts again.
My mic's gone off, so nobody heard any of that.
Oh, really?
It switched itself on.
Oh, Pete, what a shame. Okay, nobody heard any of that. So I will repeat. What we've got is we've opened up the European ordering to Switzerland and Spain and the Netherlands. You can now place orders online for those. Unfortunately, Ireland is not included in that. Pete was explaining how difficult it is for us to get postage to Ireland. No comments about why that might be, but there is a difficulty with shipments to Ireland. We keep getting them back. It's like a boomerang. We send them, they come back. We fill out all the paperwork, we send them, they come back. Same one. Did we try it three times? I think it was crazy. One of them was just, yeah, it was more than the cost of the product by the time we paid all this postage. So it's quite frustrating. Anyway, the Switzerland and Spain and the Netherlands
It's live now.
is live now.
And as should my microphone be. For some reason, it switched itself off.
Yeah. So that would be great if you're in those countries. If you would like to test out the ordering, that would be wonderful. Thank you. Now, should we talk about this next?
Mm-hmm.
So what we've got here is our Moxie. Moxie is a lovely, lovely free arm, movable machine with a 16-inch throat space.
15.
15-inch. God, you know, I was thinking 15, 16, 15, 16. I need that coffee. 15-inch throat space. Heavens. And it's a lovely machine. It's light. It has all the touch controls on the handlebars. And it came out only in December 2020. And we were shipping it in January, February 2021. So it's a lovely machine. It's been well used and loved by those people who've had it. And one of the things that you can do on it, as you can on many of the machines, of course, is quilting from the back. So if you're not confident in your quilting abilities and your drawing abilities, this is a great way to start. And it's something that a number of people will take up, I'm sure. So when you come along to perhaps Festival of Quilts, or we're doing Malvern the week after next, Malvern Quilt Show, Quilts UK, come along and test drive a Moxie and have a go on one of the pantograph designs that we've got lined up. So this is how it comes. It comes in a box like this, and you have the same handlebars, pretty much, similar handlebars, control at the back. Same thing's available for the Amara. It actually comes as standard on some of the older machines, and it's an additional thing on the Simply 16. So if you've got one of the older machines, you'll know that you've got it. On the Avanti, for example, it was on there. Now, quilting from the back, it does give you the muscle memory. It gives you that confidence. It's great for edge-to-edge quilting. So this is my Blue Peter one. And this is the drift pattern that comes as the default when you get the quilting from the back kit. So this is drift, and done it in those colours so that you can see it nice and easily. Yeah, in fact, that's the back. See the back. Just there. Okay, pink with the black stitching. And drift pattern is one of those designs. It fills really nicely. It's not a feather, so you know it's more open than that, but it's a really useful design to begin with. And it gets you into practicing some of the key things, which is the movement of the pantograph. And we teach this on our foundation workshop. We give you a go if you've never used one for quilting from the back. Now, one of the things that we suggest you do is, it comes on with a standard foot on the Moxie and an open toe, but we recommend putting on the glide foot too. So this is how we change. You don't get necessarily this screwdriver. I'm just using this because it's easier for me to hold while we're doing this filming. But you get an Allen key to change both the needle and the foot. And we will take this foot off. It's easier to do it if you just pull it to the side. And that just drops off like so. So that's the standard foot. And the reason we don't particularly like to leave that on is because you can see if you're going on and off the quilt at the side, there is always a danger, it's happened to me, that you can get this caught over, and it basically puts a flap over on the side here, and that's not great. So we have the glide foot too. Comes in its own little box, like so. And glide foot 2 is a dome, plastic dome. You don't have to tighten it really firmly. It actually the screw goes all the way through to the back. So sometimes people over tighten these and it splits. It's absolutely not necessary. You just have to tighten it up enough to be held. Doesn't happen very often, but.
So this is the drift pattern, which comes as standard, as Liz said, in the quilt from the back kit. Joe's just said how much she likes the drift pattern. There's a reason why they put it in as standard.
Yeah.
It is a really good pattern, but at the same time, it's a relatively straightforward one to start off with.
Yeah. So settings wise, this is the Moxie. So we've got our fingertip controls here. So I'm going to go into the settings using the minus and plus keys. I go into my setting here, which at the moment is cruise. That's what I do want, but if I'd been in precision, I would move it using the minus or plus keys from precision to cruise. Okay, so select that. And when I'm in cruise, I need to be able to say what the stitches per minute it does when it's pausing. So cruise or continuous, it's basically going to keep sewing even when I pause. Now that is important for things like pantographs because I want sharp points. Well, this is done at the last class, I should say. This here at the moment is set as a 50 stitches per minute. Okay, there's a 50 in here, I don't know if you can see that. And we're just going to increase that to about 200. Okay, there's different settings and we go through these on the foundation workshop. But that's not a bad setting for getting sharp points. Okay, and then stitches per inch is the other setting that we can do in here. So either 10, 9, 10, 11, 12, the typical settings for when we're doing quilting. All right. Now, once we've set that at the front, we're going to go to the back. So in fact, Pete was teaching this on the last foundation workshop. So there are 2 rows and we'll show you how we line up.
So these were pretty much the first attempts of some of the customers on the last foundation workshop. And one of the things we notice is how quickly people improve, because the muscle memory kicks in quite quickly. So it's by no means perfect, but we have a very stark thread against black fabric here. If you had a real quilt and you'd chosen a thread that was more a bit more forgiving than that, clearly it wouldn't be so obvious if you made any small mistakes.
Yeah, there's some other pantograph designs there. I'll go to that after. Okay, now one thing you can do as well, some people use shower curtain, or you can use things like the preview paper. You can actually put this down on the back. I should have opened this one up, shouldn't I?
Lots of people just spontaneously saying, I love my Moxie. I think I've seen at least 4 people say that so far.
Moxie is one of those machines. I think when we first got it, I felt like, this is really doable. This is, I feel like I can really just get on and quilt with this machine. I know that's what you should be doing, but it just feels like it's achievable. It's a very good machine, particularly for those people who are very new to long arming. So what we can do is we can mark our start position on our plastic. All right, and I don't know whether you want to do this around the back, Pete. So rather than marking on your paper pantograph, so the pantograph here is basically one where, using a laser light and our handles at the back, we can trace this, and by tracing it over here, it reproduces the design on the front. So you don't have to be standing it there. It's quilting from the back, and that's why we call it quilting from the back. It's actually from the back of the machine. That makes total sense. So I will use my laser light to realign for the next row. You always get these dash lines which show the row that you've just sewn, and the solid line which is what we're going to sew next. So we can't, if we look at this, we can't sew the next row. It's just physically not possible. Even though it's a 15-inch machine, it's not going to be possible to sew it. So we need to move that quilt on. So having sewn that previous row, I'm going to release the stoppers on the quilt frame here and here, and I'm just going to move this on so that I can still see the row I've just stitched. Okay, but it's enough that I can sew my next row, and then I would just stitch down the side. As I progress down the quilt, I'm always stitching down the side.
Morning, Mary from Mollington.
Mary from Mollington. Good morning, Mary. There we go. And just pull down on that thread. Just take it to the side and just cut that. Now I could do the other side as well. A lot of people do. It's a personal choice thing. Sometimes you can just let it run off at the side, it's fine. But if you want to keep your quilt nice and straight, I would also stitch down that side. I'm also going to put on the side clamps and make sure that they're not in the way of what I'm doing. I'm just going to tension that quilt. Now, you don't tension the quilt too much, just enough that you can still get the first knuckle of your thumb. So I'm going to tension the quilt, make sure that the wadding hasn't it's still fine. I hadn't fixed down the back. There we go. Just move that slightly. There we go. So now when I go on and off with this glide foot, it's not going to cause a problem with it catching. So I'm going to use one of these bits that I've just sewn, these top little points, as an alignment. So I can just put my needle over there, okay, and I could put my needle down if I want.
You can't see with the glide foot in place, but Liz has simply put the needle in a recognisable point on the design that she's already stitched. So it's the equivalent of this one on the next design. And she's now come to the back of the machine again.
That's right, I've come to the back, and I'm just going to align my laser light, which is just here, and make sure it's tight enough. See, it's a little loose. I'll just tighten that a bit. And I'm just going to move that so that on this dashed line, which indicates the line that I've sewn previously, on this dashed line, I've now got my laser light lined up. So my needle is my laser. Take the needle up, and I can double check along the width of the quilt and make sure that they all look correct. If I wasn't sure, I'd just move it along until I've completed. Now the other thing about this plastic, quite apart from the fact that I might want to mark where my start is, I'll also mark where my end is, because you're not actually looking at the quilt. And if you're not careful, you can go off the end. It's been done before. You suddenly realise you're at the end.
This is quite important to do before you start stitching. Good evening, Maya. Maya in Melbourne.
Ah, yes. Fantastic.
So it seems to be universally sunny across the UK today, which is nice and unusual.
It's lovely. It's lovely.
And given it's a bank holiday weekend, let's hope it stays the whole time.
Yeah, I think this is one of the nicer days. So I would just use...
I mean, I'm quite excited because, of course, the cricket season has now started.
Oh, Pete's happy. Pete's happy.
The best game in the world.
He's back in his whites with the 3 layers.
I had 5 layers last weekend.
It's not warm out there, is it, Pete, when you're standing outside on a Wednesday evening? Right, so I'll put my side clamps on there. We have got videos of this on our YouTube channel. In case you want to watch it on there, you can see a lot more of what I do. So I'm now going to make sure I don't turn off my mic.
You're coming across, our friend from Crayalou Patchwork in France is coming across to Lynda's class. I hadn't recognised that. Well, we look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll be able to see our lovely showroom.
Yes. Okay, so I'll picked a part of my design that's relatively easy to start, and I'll have marked the start position. So I'll do that using a water erasable, and I'll have marked my end position. So that's about here, isn't it? Okay, so now I can pick up my thread. Oh, and yeah, and just make sure, yeah, that's fine. Make sure nothing's moved. And I always just do a little bit first before I go too far. Now, muscle memory is very important on pantographs. So the first thing you want to do, if you've got a new design, is actually finger trace it. So, and think about your pauses. So I go pause, pause, long one there, pause, pause. I've done so many of these. I did a whole load from my brother Cotton Patch. With K Facet ones with this design. They look fantastic.
So you're going to be perfect at this then?
Let's see. I make no comment. Oh, now.
Coda.
Where's the... Aha!
We're missing an encoder cable.
There's a key bit of equipment. I can't believe that.
I have to raise my hand here and admit to guilt.
Oh, piece of hoping.
I stole the rear encoder cable from this machine to supply to a customer who had a problem with her cable to see if that was the problem, and I haven't replaced it.
So this is the encoder cable.
As a result, Our stitches are not being properly regulated.
I'm looking at it thinking, why isn't that working?
So Liz is now going to steal one from the other machine.
Luckily I've got my toolkit, Peter Holpin. Have toolkit will travel. Got something like a live demo, is there? A live demo when your husband steals the encoder cable. Right, so this encoder cable is now going to make sure that we have stitch regulation. All right, so otherwise we've got very long stitches.
That's a quick fix, wasn't it? Oh look, the machine's working properly.
You see, it wasn't a problem, was it? Right, before I go any further, having seen that I didn't have stitch regulation, the scissors sticking at me, I just want to make sure it looks good. That looks great. So pause, pause. There we go.
So Liz has reached her mark on the pantograph at the back,
Yep.
and that tells her when to stop. So as Derek rightly says, there's nothing like a live example as to how to diagnose and fix a problem. So let's just have a little look at this here. Back at the start, when the encoder cable wasn't in the machine at the back, we've got some long stitches here. Look, very long stitches going in the horizontal direction. It was working fine in the vertical direction.
Which is what I tested, because I did this.
But very easily fixed. And just as a reassurance, I mean, as the only specialist long arm people, we hold a vast array of spares for most of the machines.
Yep.
And almost all our problems are fixed remotely, actually.
Yeah.
Customers phone up, we diagnose them, we put a part in the post if we think it might be a component issue, but that's rare. It's usually just an issue that the customer hasn't seen before, but we've seen many times.
Yeah. So.
But you see how quickly that was fixed?
Yeah, exactly. And
Liz,
so, I mean, to be fair, that was...
One Liz, one screwdriver, one cable, it was fixed.
You see, I have my own toolkit. Oh, I should note that this is my tool, my screwdriver, because it has the yellow and green stickers on it. If anybody, I'm just saying, but if anybody is familiar with the problem of tools and people removing them from your toolkit, it's very important to know, Peter Holpin, who's, isn't it? Yours are blue, mine are yellow and green.
You're more possessive about your tools than anything else.
I'm very possessive. I've gone to toolkits before now and found things missing. And yeah, I can easily identify who might have them in my nice yellow and green tape.
Well,
I know that I've had this conversation with other customers. I have one customer who locks her tools in the boot of her car so her husband can't get access to them. Others hide them, others get them in pink, you know, all different ways. I mean, what guy is going to use a pink screwdriver? So,
well, you wouldn't let me steal your screwdriver, so I had to steal the encoder cable from the Moxie just to, you know, give you a challenge.
Okay, so that is pantographs. That is, and I just wanted to show you, you know, some of them are more detailed. This is this one, Field of Flowers? That doesn't look like it. Is that Field of Flowers?
Don't know. No, it's not Field of Flowers.
No. Okay, that's a more detailed one. But there are others that we sell in packs.
Yes, more intricate, this one.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't think you could do this one on the Moxie.
No, that's what I was going to say. You've got oh, you'd have to move it on. Yeah. You can't do two passes, but there is a single pass.
Oh, I see. There's a single pass.
Yeah, a single pass is that.
So yeah, depending on which machine you've got to make sure that the design of pantograph that you select will fit within the throat space of the machine.
Okay, and you do that by looking at 6-inch wide rows. The actual pantograph is 18 inches wide, but the rows themselves are 6 inches wide. It's really nice. This one, leafage, is 8.5 inches wide. We've got a book here actually that saves people opening the packs to find out which ones they like, and they're on our website too. What else would you like to mention? Pete quite often teaches this on our foundation workshop. He's very good at doing pantographs. Very good at teaching.
All I would say is for somebody who's got a machine from new, they can make really good quality results with pantographs much more quickly than learning to do complete free motion. So it's a really good way for getting into your machine. And in fact, we have some customers who only do quilting from the back because they love making their quilt tops, and they choose a pantograph design, they quilt them, and then they're on to the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. And you saw, you know, moving it on now, I would just see, can I get another row in? No, I won't be able to do another row. Again, it's about the same distance. I didn't move it too far on. You'd struggle to do 2 of this on this particular machine because it is 15 inches. But that gives you available quilt space is an important thing. And on this one, it's, what is it, 10?
It's about 10 inches.
10 inches. Yeah, so that's anything under 10-inch design you're good with. Okay, there we go. And they are shown on our website. I think that's it for the live demo for today, unless you've got anything else to add. Just make sure encoder cable is present when you start doing your pantograph. Live and learn. What else? Festival of Quilts. Festival of Quilts is coming up. You should see our name on there now. We've gone ahead and done everything that we need to. And we'll be putting more information up about what we're going to be doing at Festival of Quilts. But the classrooms are there, and you can book on those. There are some lovely classes. And Abigail Sharon de Graaf, those of you who received our email newsletter this week, you'll see that she won second place at the American Quilters Society, AQS, at Paducah this week with a modern quilt in the wall hanging section, a 50-inch square quilt, which is a churn dash, mini to maxi churn dash. Congratulations, Abigail, absolutely fantastic, and well done for entering that competition, because, you know, you've got to send your quilt over to the States, and it only just made it in time due to the vagaries of the delivery system that we seem to be facing worldwide at the moment. And if anybody is wondering why, you know, from time to time we don't have things, it is honestly, deliveries are testing. They're testing, aren't they, Pete?
They are, yes. We're waiting for, there's a parcel that's been sitting in at the airport, it seems, in California for the last 2.5 weeks. That's just sitting there. Just sitting there.
And then there's another one that's gone to Spain, and that's sitting there. And you just, it's
just difficult. A question of being patient.
Yeah. So we do send things, and we do receive them, but it just takes longer than it did. Okay. And our special offer. Our special offer this week, in fact, the month, but starting today, is free postage if you place an order for over £60 in the UK. Afraid we can't apply that to our new European customer countries. But if you're in the UK, this is a great time to place an order, and that will be valid throughout May. There you go, throughout May. So just place your orders. Away you go. And that will be wonderful. So I think that's everything that I wanted to say, Pete. Does anything else that you wanted to add? I think
No, at Festival you mentioned the classes, and yes, there are still some places available to book on those, but we will have, as usual, our normal stand with all of our machines on to come and try.
That's right.
Without having to book a class.
Yeah, so you can come along, have a go, have a play at Quilting from the Back. We'll have people that can introduce you to the different ranges of machines, and we'll also have our products there too. So this will be a great opportunity to stock up on things like thread. So great, looking forward to seeing everybody at Festival of Quilts. It'll be feeling hopefully a more normal year this year. Last year, I don't know whether we're doing the yoga bomb again, but it was a lot of space last year in order for us to be able to lay out our mats and do our yoga. I quite fancy doing that outside later today because it's so beautiful out there. Okay, everything there. It's a bank holiday. I'm sure you've got lots of things that you would love to be doing outside in the garden. But if you're interested in coming and booking along...
so Lynda's 3-day ambassador class, 5th to the 7th
of
July, goes on sale at 2 p.m. today.
We thought just after your lunch, you might pop in, make your booking. And so you can choose either stand up or sit down. You can say which machine, which machine you've got or prefer. But basically you're booking a stand up or a sit down place. We're not being specific because it's not about the technique of the machine or learning how to use it. So it'll be first come, first served. There we go.
So yes, after you've had your lunch, before you have your siesta, you can go online and book Lynda's class.
See, Pete's got that half Italian heritage. He just loves his siestas. Don't always get an opportunity to have them though, do we? Right.
It's rare. It's very rare.
Very, very rare. Oh, but if we could. But we'll be going to Italy soon, so we might be able to get them there. Okay, I'm just looking around because I'm kind of like, if you see me wandering into the distance, I'm just kind of making sure I've told you everything I need to. But let's have an amazing weekend and long weekend if you're in the UK with Bank Holiday Monday. And we look forward to seeing our customers for the Foundation Workshop coming up and Lynda's Feathers workshops on the weekend. And wherever you're coming from, we hope you have a safe journey here. Definitely put into the sat-nav using our Google map on our website. Don't just go down Seaford Lane. There's a forward.
Late question from Claire. Yep. Does the ambassador event include hotel?
No.
The price of the booking online is just for the tuition for the 3 days.
And you can book, we've reserved some accommodation at 2 local venues. So we've got the Vale Golf Club, Golf and Country Club, and also the Boot, and they'll be releasing rooms when we go live. So you can go ahead and make those reservations individually. It's just a lot easier if you just book those direct.
Yeah. And you can choose which one you wish.
More details are on the order confirmation. It'll give you, and on our website actually, it gives you all the website details. You can look at that now.
So Di, just as a reminder, the ambassador event, 5th to 7th of July, going live for sale this afternoon at 2 o'clock.
Yes.
With Lynda. 3 days intensive training.
Yeah, fantastic.
It is on the website.
It is, and the links are on the email. So hopefully everybody will find everything. And there's lots of FAQs that you can link to, and all the links are on the website to the FAQs as well. That tells you all about the accommodation and everything. There we go. I think with that, Pete.
We're done. Well, let's go and enjoy some sunshine.
Yeah, let's go. All right, have a fantastic weekend, everybody, and happy quilting. Okay, bye now.